hitting the button. Now we're live for real. We're live for real, guys. Oh, look. Can you see in the preview screen? Can you see anywhere on YouTube, Amber, that I'm drinking out of my Halloween, well, Mark's Halloween Bubbers mug?
I can now. This is
Awesome.
very strange.
Yes, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Black Friday, the most gothic of all the Fridays. Even more gothic than Friday the 13th, because 13th, I can't talk today, because people on Black Friday, probably more people get trampled and die on Black Friday than they, do get killed by Michael Myers on Friday the 13th. So I'm sure that a lot more people have died on Black Friday than by Michael Myers. So Black Friday is officially the more spooky holiday. So congratulations to everybody who survived today going out to stores. I was not one of them. And Amber lives in the UK, so she doesn't get to enjoy all the craziness, but I think that it's important that we get to share, all of the fun with Amber. We decided after Thanksgiving dinner at Grandmomsy's house last night that we were going to stop and get the animals, the dogs and the cats, their food. So we just want to pop into Walmart real quick, It's only a quick trip. Pop in, pop out. It's only, I think it was like 8 p.m. Wasn't late, wasn't, midnight. We thought, okay, we're going to just get past all these Black Friday sales. We'll get there early before all the craziness starts at midnight, and we will get our dog food and cat food and leave. We pulled into the parking lot, and every single space was taken. There were barricades around the front of Walmart, and there were cops outside. And the whole store was just full of people with their carts full of boxes with TVs and toys. I'm like, it's only 8 o'clock. It's only 8 p.m. So we just kind of, snaked around people and grabbed our dog food and somehow miraculously found a self-checkout that didn't have anyone at it and checked out our dog food. And then at the door to leave the store, they were checking every single person's bag and receipt to make sure that you didn't steal anything. And all these people with TVs and stuff, they're checking their receipts. And then there's us with these tiny little, single serve bags of dog food and cat food. We just want to leave. We just want to go home. We're tired. We just want to take our dog and cat food home. So that was our Black Friday. Amber, would you like to share some of your Black Friday fun? And for those who are joining us for the first time, we hang out for the first 10 minutes of the stream to wait for Alphas to join us. So, Amber, what did you do today?
Today, I had tried to catch up on orders. I've had so many days off for the wedding, for the honeymoon, for the house, and it's got to the point now where I get taking bookings for portraits, but they're so far in the future that I can't keep up. So I did put a sale out on Black Friday, and actually I got featured in a newspaper, but it's not a very reputable one.
That's okay.
It's the kind of one where there's a page 3 girl, and I'm not sure if I'm proud or embarrassed, but at least I'm in there.
But put it next to, because you also were featured in Dogs Today, right? So put it on your banner, but put Dogs Today real big, and then put your other feature
Daily stuff.
Yeah, also mentioned, and just until you get some more in there. So, and guys, everyone's like, Starla, you must be tired. I'm very tired. I was up until 3:30 because we got I think I have 115 orders in my shop right now. Oh, said we got to get all this packed today because Handmade Alpha Academy opens on Sunday. Super duper excited though, despite the fact that I look like a crypt keeper right now. I'm just tired and a little bit sick, but we're here. Amber's gonna do most of the talking for me. That way I can sit here and drink my coffee and feel better. Kim said the sun. Yes, it is a warm orb.
No, the Sun is another non-reputable newspaper.
Oh, okay.
But it's similar. It was the Daily Star.
Oh, not the Sun, the Star, guys. Not the I just read it like as a question, like the sun, like yes, the sun. It's beautiful, it's large, it's warm, keeps our planets alive. No, that just went over my head. What what is popping behind you, Amber? It's a man. There's a man.
It's a man.
It's a man.
Okay.
I just saw like a little head pop in. I was gonna just let him sit there for a while and let everyone look at him just peeking for a minute. Does he know that he just appeared to like several hundred people probably?
It's his first debut appearance.
His first, and then he's gone. And then just out of nowhere he is gone. So, oh, you still look amazing, Starla. I appreciate that, but I don't feel amazing. Good morning, Starla, or afternoon yet. It is 11:57 a.m. So it is still good morning. I'm tired.
5 p.m.
Huh?
5 p.m. here.
Oh, yeah, so you're probably, like, ready to take a nap by now.
Yeah. We've got to go to the flat in a minute to empty the last few items.
Oh.
So it's never ending.
When do you get to go to bed?
After we've done the trip, so maybe 10 or 11.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad. That's healthy. 10 or 11 is healthy. 3:30 in the morning is not healthy, and that's why I joined the stream, looking like the Crypt Keeper is. Yeah. But
you put all your keys on a big ring and just relish the role of Crypt Keeper.
Walk down the hallway. My daughter's in her bed, like, what's that? She'll think Santa Claus is on the way. I got her, we bought her this metal mailbox that sits out on the porch. It's just, it's like an old school mailbox, with the dome-shaped ones. You know what I mean? Like the old school dome-shaped mailboxes. And she constantly writes letters to Santa all the time. Every single day she comes up with me with a new letter to Santa. So I got her this mailbox. I'm like, okay, now you can put all your letters to Santa in the mailbox because they just pile up on my desk. And I tell her, we'll send them to Santa when it's closer to Christmas. But then I end up with, 20 letters to Santa. So I'm like, okay, just put them all in the mailbox and then the mail lady will come get them. So that's been our solution. A lot of people saying happy Black Friday. Happy Black Friday. I'm graveyard shift. I think that I'm feeling like it's graveyard shift, but I don't work like a normal job. I just hang out here with you guys.
Black Friday.
Black Friday is graveyard shift.
Why is it called Black Friday?
Why is it called Black Friday? You know what? I have no idea. Guys, someone Google it and put it in the chat. Is it called Black Friday for a reason? It's a day.
You could put it in your group.
Yeah, someone put it somewhere. I want to know because, I know that traditionally the U.S. has been doing it for a long time, and it used to be the day after Thanksgiving, but now it always starts on Thanksgiving night. So, let us know, guys. Let us know in the chat. All right, it is 12 o'clock on the dot. I didn't even mention Handmade Alpha Academy is opening December 1st, which is this Sunday. I'm hoping I feel better by then because we have lots of fun stuff planned for you guys when you enter. So we'll probably plan to open HAA around 6 a.m. Eastern time. If you guys are on my email list, you will be getting, I'll go ahead and announce the discount because most of you know what it is already. We're going to be doing another $1,000 discount, which is what we, that's traditionally what we do as your guys' gift for being a member of the community. Otherwise, you're going to be paying like double the price for enrollment. And if you're on my email list, you will get a special link that will allow you to enroll with that discount. If you try to just go to handmadealphaacademy.com, it will be $1,000 more. So make sure that you're on my email list or the HAA waiting list. That is linked down below. And Amber is an HAA student. She is our HAA Alpha of the Year. You guys have probably heard her name a million times by now. And she's going to be doing most of the talking today because I can already feel myself getting exhausted. But we have a response about what Black Friday is. The term Black Friday was first used in 1869 by two investors who drove up the price of gold and caused a stock market crash. So there it is. Stock market crash for Black Friday. And now it's the day when everybody goes and spends all their money standing in line for hours and hours to get $5 off the price of a television. There we have it, because the deals usually aren't that great, and the online deals are usually just as good, and you can do it from your home. So I don't get what the hype is, but you guys, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Go have fun. Knock yourselves out. I just do not want to partake. Amber, what are we talking about today? It's a very high demand topic that lots of alphas have wanted to know. What's our topic for the day?
We are talking about how to engage more people into your group, make sure that they comment, they like, they're joining in, and sometimes even post themselves when you haven't posted in a while. It is, I'm pretty sure, the most commonly asked question in both the alpha groups, via email. People have also messaged me and asked me. So I decided to do this one after your poll as well. Because it's so important to make sure that your VIPs actually want to interact.
Yes. And because I know that there will be newbies in the replay who have never seen any of my videos. What is a VIP group? What are VIPs? Why would you have a Facebook group for your business? Why would you even do that?
So you have your public page, which is your business page on Facebook or your Etsy store. Then you can also have a private group where you can store all of your most loyal customers, all the people that want to know what you get up to in your spare time and want to get to know the real you. They can join either an email list or a Facebook group, which you can create. And they can go in there and they can have a discount code for being a VIP. They can post a little bit more privately than to your page, and you can create a real community, rather when it's posted on a page, it's a bit too public to have actual face-to-face interactions. So it's a really nice, close-knit community of your fans.
Yeah, and guys, if you need this, because I know that this is kind of hard to envision. So if you've never heard of having a Facebook group like this, Amber's group is linked down below under the little balloon emoji. You can find that. My Facebook group is linked all the way down at the bottom with a little key emoji beside that. We both have insanely active Facebook groups. How many members does yours have right now?
It's just reached 2,000.
2,000. That is insane, because yours, I mean, I've had my group for 4 or 5 years, and I think we have 3,000, a little more than 3,700, I believe. And how long have you had your group? Not 5 years.
No, it's been about 2.5.
Yeah.
I stopped using it because Facebook kept on changing the algorithm, and I think somewhere I read, groups aren't that important anymore, so I stopped using it. And then when I joined HAA and all of the teachings about having a group really does boost that VIP feeling, I went, I need to use my group again. So I went back in, and immediately, because I posted, I think it sent a notification to all of my followers like, a group you haven't heard from in a while has just posted. So everybody went over there, and then it started to build it back up again. So I think maybe 2.5 years, but I really properly started using it again when I joined HAA. So 1.5 years, 2.
Awesome. Yeah. And everybody asks in the groups, in the alpha groups, they want to know, like, I've got my group and I have members in it, but nobody's engaging, nobody's talking, nobody's posting. I post things, I hear crickets. And then when it comes time to sell, nobody's buying anything. What do I do? And I know that a lot of alphas are freaking out about it, especially now on Black Friday, because, and this isn't everybody, but what I commonly see are alphas who will abandon their group for most of the year. And then right around the holidays, they'll pop in and they'll start posting, and they want to know why nobody's interacting, even though they waited until right before the holidays to start posting. So that's kind of why we decided to do this stream today, rather than what was the topic supposed to be?
How to get more wholesale orders and keep wholesale orders.
Postpone that. We'll postpone that one. We'll do that one later because I'm sure that they still want that one. We'll do it at a later date, but this one felt a lot more important. So, Amber, I don't have my list up of things that you sent me because I'm a dum-dum. Where would you like to start this stream?
So I have must-haves on your VIP group to-do list to begin with. So the first one is to make sure that your URL, which is the www.facebook.com
/
actually is a word rather than a bunch of load of numbers and letters and stuff. So that you can change it so it'll firstly be something you can remember, but also be easy for others to remember and also share for you. This means that you can tag your group as well, rather than just post the link with a load of numbers. You can actually put @ symbol and then your group name, which looks really sexy.
I didn't know that that was the reason that I couldn't tag some groups. I didn't know that it was because they didn't have a custom URL.
Yeah.
I learned something.
You actually have to go into the settings as well, which is sometimes a bit scary for people. People don't want to go into settings. Fiddle with your settings. Go in and change things.
Oh, yeah. And, every once in a while they add new things that you can change. So I try to pop in every few months and look and see, if there's anything I can spruce up in my settings, if they've added new settings, if there's anything that they're testing that I have access to. So always check your settings. That's a good one.
So to go in there, you need to change the custom URL, and just type the name of what you want your group to be. And it's also easy to share your group rather than your page or your website or your Etsy link. Whenever anybody tries to inquire about something, post your group link, because it is easy peasy for them to join your group and later become a customer, rather than you post your Facebook page link where they have to try and navigate and try and find what you sell and what you do, or your Etsy link, and then they feel like they have to purchase. A group is easy for them to just join, and then one day they might gather that confidence to purchase with you. Think add a community member who will one day become a customer, rather than post a link to a product and just hope that they might buy.
Exactly. And I've joined people's groups before, and they just kind of throw, and I call it like just trying to throw something at the wall until something, one sticks.
Yes.
Where it's just constant, like, oh, if I throw enough products at people, they have to buy something. And then what you end up doing is just, really annoying everybody, and nobody wants to buy anything anyway, because there's no connection there. There's no warmth. Nobody knows anything about your personality. Whereas Amber is posting photos of herself in her new house covered in paint from where she's painting the walls, and she's just like, look at me, I'm covered in paint. And everybody loves posts like that. Like, I see
everybody in there has the same mentality, because everybody who joins the group is your target audience, so they will get along anyway.
And then they can form friendships, they start to recognize each other's names, and for you, they know who has what pet, and they can start, conversations with each other and bond over those things. And guys, I put an example of what we're talking about in terms of the links. That's kind of, I put that in the chat, facebook.com/group/your group name, rather than facebook.com/group/590ABC So there you go. All right.
And based on that URL, learn how to tag your group. So maybe go into a group and try and tag your group link by typing in the www.facebook.com/groups/ then your group name, or the @ symbol followed by your page. There are two different ways of doing it, and both have different reasons why you would do it. So the @ followed by your group name looks quite simple and flush, and it can just be part of your actual comment. Whereas if you type the www.facebook, it pops a drop down of your sexy banner. It has a little button that says join, which is so much more simple than clicking on the Amber Marie by robot. Like, they have to go and click on it, then go to your group. So I recommend the www. And also that is universal. You can use it on your website, on your email list, anywhere, like on the internet, anywhere on a Word document, literally anywhere. You can type that in and it will work and it will send everyone to your groups. So use that one. And when you have your banner popping up, I would make sure that your banner for your group is different to your banner for your page and banner for your Etsy, because your brain starts to melt into one. And I have so many times posted in the wrong group or the wrong page because they all look the same and your brain triggers it as, well, this is clearly what it is because this is what it looks like. So I have a completely different banner for my group. And it also kind of makes them feel like they know which group to post in as well, because they can see it.
Yeah, they can differentiate. And not only that, I mean, you can keep your branding the same so that people can look and immediately know exactly who these pages are for, what brand they represent, but change things up. That way they have something new to look at. The group people feel like they have their own special banner. The page people, you know, that is the billboard versus this is the tiny VIP club. You know, you don't want to have the exact same sign out front of both, because those VIP people, they have their own personal little space. So this is like you're decorating their special place for them.
Yes.
Similar to what we do in the Alpha group, where the banner is completely different. So
yes.
Good. I've got your list up too.
Huh?
I said I have your list up too. I'm looking at it on my phone.
And the next one is join other groups that have super strong followings based on a fandom or a business product, because they will be the people that you can start targeting what posts you are based on what you've seen. So I have a few that I recommend. And it also means that you can have a snope in what they see, and you might even be able to post your own link to your group in there, because the people in there are already crazy fans about one product. Why wouldn't they be a crazy fan about yours? Just check the rules on that group, because don't be rude and just start spamming them. That's not nice. But yeah, there have been a few groups where there's one called Lucy Lockett Loves, and she makes leggings with like funky patterns on. And people say, oh, post pictures of you wearing your leggings whilst at work. So you can post a picture of you wearing your leggings, drawing a dog. People then go, oh, do you do them yourself? In which case you go, yeah, feel free to come and join over in my group, because it's not technically selling. This is kind of a workaround.
It's a slick way to do it. And I do that with you too, because I'm a member of a Chihuahua group and a Shiba Inu group. And I posted a couple days ago, I posted the picture of my stockings with all my little ornaments, my little amber ornaments on them. And I said, you know, spot the Shiba ornament. And I said, you know, my friend Amber tagged your page, you know, made me these ornaments. What do you put in your Shiba Inu stocking? You know, my Shiba's only a year old. What do you guys put in your Shiba stocking? And then I did the same thing for the Chihuahua page, where I said, you know, here are my babies. My Chihuahua is elderly. She doesn't really play with toys. What would you guys give to a senior Chihuahua to put in her stocking? But then once again, I tagged your page, where it wasn't the showcase of the post, so nobody can be like offended by it. But at the same time, it's there, you know, if anybody gets curious and clicks and says, oh, I like those, I want one of those. So that's like a slick way to do it. And one thing that I do when I post things like that is I'll just say, you know, admin, if not allowed, please delete.
Please delete.
Please delete if not allowed. You know, you're just testing the water. If not allowed, please delete. And it's usually fine. And I appreciate when you guys do that in my group too, because sometimes you do post things that aren't allowed. But because you're telling me that, you know, if it's not allowed, I can delete it, then I don't feel bad about deleting it. And I usually don't even contact you to send you like a warning or anything if that's the case. So, because you already know, if you see that your post disappeared.
Pushing the line.
Yes. If they can see that their post disappeared, they you got the message that you did something you weren't supposed to do. And I'm assuming that you'll, you know, not do it again. So little slick ways to do it. So find niches.
Yes.
Associated.
And definitely join Lucy Lockett Loves, because her fans are mental. She launches and sells out in seconds, and she doesn't even do a pre-launch or any hyping towards it. She just launches them that morning and half an hour later they are all gone. It's insane. And the people that are in the group, like, they are self-confessed addicts as well. So you kind of look at it as this is how I want my group to be. This is how I want my launches to be. I want to be able to have a group like this. And you can start looking at what she posts. And there's another one called Emma Bridgewater. She makes pottery, which is like hand stamped pottery. And she is so like well known that her fans have even created their own group because she didn't make one for them. And they're nuts as well. They collect things. And there's also ones about books. Like, you find that like Harry Potter has his own like fandom. And there's one called Black Dagger Brotherhood Discussions and Spoilers. And it's all based on a series of novels. People post photos of male models that they think might be the representation of one of the characters in the books. And they're insane. They talk in the language of the books. It's crazy. So you get to see what an actual fandom is and how the author interacts with them and how the creator of the product that they love interacts with them, or whether they don't interact at all because it's a fan-made group. It's really, really, really good because you get to sort of take little chunks and snippets from other groups to see what works for you. It's a whole experimentation.
Yeah, and pick the best pieces out, because every single niche is going to be different. And you know, we have alphas who say, I sell this, there's no way I could make a VIP group around this, you know, and that's just not true, because we just talked about, you know, leggings, where people are going crazy about leggings. They're leggings. You know, there's nothing crazy that you're doing in your leggings, but it's not about the leggings. It's more that the group focuses around the people who are wearing the leggings. So and I see groups like this all the time. There's a brand that Diet, if you guys know Diet from the Artsy Pumpkin, she bought me this pen from this brand called Pen Gems. And they're just pens with crystals in them. But she's obsessed with these pen gems. And they have like the coolest social media feed ever. But there's people who just collect these pens that have crystals in them. And, you know, they're pens. They're just pens. So there's so many ways that you guys can build something that is deeper than your product. You just have to find the meaning of it. And that's kind of something that we teach you how to do in Handmade Alpha Academy, where if you have a product and you just can't figure out what that inner meaning is, that thing that's going to make it special, that's going to make it stand out in the marketplace and make people feel like they're buying into a part of something, so that you get that cult following for your product. That's what we ultimately try to establish for those brands. But even if you're not enrolling in Handmade Alpha Academy on Sunday, just start thinking about what is the special thing that lays just below the surface of what your product actually is. So, and that's kind of what, and Amber, have we even talked about what I'm like holding your mug and drinking out of your mug, and we have not even talked about what you sell. Do you want to give your brand a shout out? It's all linked down below, guys.
Sure. So I draw people's pets, and once I have drawn them, I scan the image, and then once I've scanned, I can print them onto a huge range of items, which people go nuts for. So you can add Santa hats, you can add baubles, you can add like snowflakes, and then all of those additions can also then be printed onto products such as mugs or coasters, baubles, or even socks. And people love it because they feel like their pet is special to them, so they want their pet on everything. And they get very, very proud when they realize that their pet is one of my most popular, which is my collection name. So they think that their pet is super famous and is wanted and is representative of their breed and is on everything. They get so proud. Is
Bubbers is Bubbers a print that anyone can buy? Can anyone buy Bubbers?
Bubbers is my tabby representative.
You guys should go. Everyone who loves Bubbers should go buy a Bubbers item and post a picture of it, because I feel like Bubbers has his own alpha fan club because he's always messing with stuff, and You guys remember last year during our live webinar, he knocked the Christmas tree down in the background while everyone was live during that webinar. Speaking of which, we're going to be rebooting that webinar on December 8th. Pre-registration for that is located at handmadealphaacademy.com. It's the Brand Planet thing that I forgot that I did that a couple days ago. You can pre-register for it there. We're not going to start advertising it until midway through next week. But if you guys want to get in on that, it's Brand Planet. It's our most popular webinar, and it's also the presentation that I do live at public events where I'm actually on stage speaking. So make sure that you register for that, because we're also giving away the swipe files at the end that everybody's been waiting like 6 months for. Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for the chaos because we haven't done the swipe file series yet. But if you guys want those swipe files, register for the webinar. If a replay is available, we'll send that out. Even if you can't make it, you will not get the replay unless you actually register for it. And you won't get the swipe files unless you actually register for it. So make sure that you go do that. HandmadeAlphaAcademy.com, right on the homepage. All right, back on topic. What's next?
Make sure that you link your group to your page and vice versa, so that if anybody ends up on one, they can easily find the other. I use the link myself, so whenever I'm on my own page and typing stuff, if I need to go into my group to do anything, it's right at the top of my page because I've already linked it.
Yeah. Ooh, I like what Alyssa said. She said, I feel that in groups, it's not about the product, but it's about the experience.
Yes.
That's a good line. Good line.
And make your group a shortcut. I'm not entirely sure how to do this, but just fiddle with your settings so that it appears on the left-hand side of your screen when you come onto Facebook. It is right in that sort of...
Do you edit those shortcuts, or do they... And I might have done it a long time ago and just forgotten that I've done it. But I almost like feel like I never did it, and that they just populated there because I frequented those groups. Like, is that like maybe an automatic thing that happens, or is that something that we set up?
I think it is an automatic one until you have joined so many groups like I have. I think I'm in like over 1,000. They don't know which groups I want to actually have in my... It's like a hotbar kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I actually have to go see more to see all of my groups, because I have my page as a hot link. I have Handmade Alphas as a hot link, and then I have my group as a hot link, and then I have my group where I send all of my printed orders to the lady who prints them for me. So like I have to like keep on clicking for that. And I also have a group with just me in it. And I do this for like one main reason is I can share anything to that one group, and I will always be able to find it again. So if I ever needed to save anything and I'm like, oh, I don't want to just save it to my phone, I don't want to just send it to myself in Messenger, I can share it to my group and add a caption, and then I can just search within that group and find it again. So
that's
I have
so smart. Mark and I have a group like that, but I use it to see how things will display when I post them.
Exactly.
Especially like previews, like if you type something out and then you add a link and you want to see how the link previews, or if you're posting a photo and you want to see where Facebook's going to cut it off, we'll post it into that group just to see how the dimensions will look on all devices. So there's a little idea for you. Start your own private, closed, secret group that only you're a member of, so you can test things like that. I never thought about like using that as a tactic. I just thought that that was something weird that I did because I didn't have a better way to do it. That's a smart idea.
Yeah, I also go live in there as well. If I ever needed to practice going live, so I use OBS when I go live, and I wasn't sure how to use it, so I kind of used it to test the software to make sure I knew what I was doing, what it looked like when I went live, what it looked like to have a countdown timer in the banner, and all of this. I used that one group.
OBS is awesome. I love it. That's how I recorded all of Handmade Alpha Academy, and anytime I do like a recorded video with screen capping, that's what I use, guys. OBS, Open Broadcast Software, right? Open Broadcast Software, is that what it's called? Yeah, I just call it.
And it will always be free because it's open.
Yeah, it's free. Go get it, guys. Make some videos. Oh.
Yeah.
Dogs just ran by.
And now how to get your fans to even know that you've posted. An active group is a happy group. So if you have got people commenting and liking and you're sharing and everything, then that group is going to just gather that moss and keep rolling. But if no one's in there interacting, it is a bit like crickets. If you don't see your post, then they're not going to know that there is content waiting for them. So consistently try and keep getting newbies into there who will then see the posts. Because what's the first thing that you do when you get approved to a new group? You go and look in the group.
You go take a little scroll.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that the people who are joining your group aren't coming in there and then seeing posts from a week or 2 weeks ago. They want to see hours. They want to know that today there have been X amount of posts posted.
Oh, I do that too.
Ever to see a group and they say 2 posts today, and you're like, oh, that must mean it's a not very active group. Even if it's not just you, like, get people to start posting in there, because they might not know that they can post in there. I mean, how many times have you been in a group and you don't know the rules, and you don't know whether you can post the things that you want to post, and you have to read the rules and they're really complicated and you don't understand them? Tell your fans that they can post everywhere.
And I'll usually scroll through to see what other people are posting. And if I only see that the admin is posting, I'm like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah.
This is a big echo chamber. There's nothing cool going on here. Linda Sue, when we were talking about OBS, she said countdown timer and banner, like a bunch of question marks. How do you do that? So
OBS, you can put a timer into your live video, and you can also then have that live video just saved.
I think she thought that you meant like your Facebook banner, like
no,
there was a countdown timer.
I mean, that would be good. That would be good, but no.
Yeah, you guys can YouTube things about OBS if you end up using it. You can find lots of tips and tricks. But if you're not doing video, you don't really need it.
No. And one of my best tips is give one of your most loyal fans a job. Make them feel worthy of those little like badges that say like rising star or conversation starter, or they want to be a moderator, and you can ask them to just approve members to the group. That's their only job, is to make sure that the people that are joining your group are approved super, super, super fast, because no one likes waiting to be approved. And when you are approved like a week later, you're like, oh, I don't really want it anymore. And especially if people are joining to get the code, the discount code to be able to purchase, you want them to be able to get into your group fast. So yeah, I have a group of about 5 moderators who approve people into my group. And you can set questions in your group for member requests. And I have got, I don't know whether anybody has joined my group recently, but I have got a, how did you come to know about Amber? And I've done a bit of market research, and that's the question that I ask when people join, is how did you come to know about me? And it's like YouTube channel, Starla Moore is one of my options. And I'm pretty sure it is like 95% of the time it's Starla Moore, but hey. Etsy and just other/friend, and quite a lot of people other/friend. So people are referring their friends to the group. They're not just finding me via the swipe files or anywhere. They're actually being recommended the group, and I can find that out by asking that question.
Awesome. And I do 3 questions too. And that's a great way to like sort out bots. That way your group doesn't get full of bots.
Yes.
That's kind of what that exists for. Mine's like, do you promise to never spam the Handmade Alpha group? Do you? So I can't even remember. But a lot of people they'll join and they'll answer the questions, but they'll answer them snarkily. Like they think that I'm not really looking at the answers. And I'm just like, nope. I don't want you in my group. You're a jerk. And don't feel like you have to pay moderators either, guys. I know that there's like a lot of people would think, oh, no one would want to moderate my group, but some people,
yes, they do.
They want to. They don't. We have HA students moderate the public group, the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. We've got Lissa, Barbara, Barbara, and Dolly, and then Nate and me and Mark are all admins of the group. And Barbara is probably our most active admin. She is just constantly like, hey, did you guys miss this video? hey, you know, Starla's streaming in 15 minutes. Here's the link. Hey, here's a video from like 2 years ago that you guys probably forgot about. Go watch it. I'm like, you are just amazing. And you know what's funny is she was doing that stuff even before I made her an admin. And I'm like, you know what, Barbara, you are doing such an awesome job. You're already doing the job of an admin. I'm going to make you an admin. So now every time there's like a member request for the group, I'll click on it and it'll already be done. It'll be like, nope, no member request. I'm like, oh, Barbara must have done it, or Lissa must have done it, or Dolly must have done it. But it takes a lot of time out of it once you do have those members. So,
and they're so proud of their little admin badge.
Oh yeah.
It makes them post more and stuff, because they're like, well, this is the only group that my admin badge shows on, because I'm not an admin of any other group. So I'm going to post because it has an admin badge and I'm proud of it.
I wish that we could customize those. I would love to like someday be able to customize the icon and have like little wolf emojis, or customize the names, like give everybody their own name.
Yeah, and you could set a timer for it. So Handmade Alpha of the Year would have a little icon for just a year.
Yes, that would be amazing. That's what we used to have. I used to run a bunch of like fan fiction forums, and we were able to do that where we could customize everybody's badge and give everybody a role, when admins would have their own special badge that we could customize. So I'm like, Facebook, you know, if I was able to do this in 2001, why haven't you gotten with the picture? It's almost 2020. Let's get this thing rolling. All right.
Cynthia says we should send the feedback to Facebook.
Oh, yeah, we should. Be like custom badges. Custom. Completely custom. Or give us choices. You know how like in your messenger, how you can change the color of your chat, and you can
and the like button.
Yeah, the little emoji. Me and Mark had like the dog emoji because it looked like Amy, the Shiba Inu little emoji, for a long time. And now it's a strawberry because I call him Barry.
Mine's a poop.
Is it a poop? Mine's been a poop for a while. I've done poop. All right, Itty, you're free. Go on.
Should we move on?
Oh, she wanted to sit with me for a while, but now she's done. Okay, where are we on our list?
The next bit that I said is the people that comment and interact the first on my posts are actually my friends on Facebook, and that's because they get a notification regardless of whether they've turned on their notifications, as their default settings for most things is friends posts. This isn't to say that you should immediately start adding everybody as a friend. Don't do that.
Oh no.
But it does help to have actual friends on Facebook in your group. One of my other things is make sure you post as yourself, not as your group, as your page, because this makes it more personable. It makes you feel like you're an actual person. And also, people like to know they've got the inside scoop. They like to know that, I actually know the actual name of the person that runs this business, not just, I mean, it doesn't really work with my business.
Or mine.
Or your business. But there are so many businesses like Peacock and Fig. I would never know who ran Peacock and Fig unless I joined her little VIP group. And then I would find out.
And then you, when you see like Dana's face along with it, you're just like, oh, this makes so much sense. Like, this is exactly how Dana is. This is her personality. So, and you know, people want to know more about you. And that's why I'm a big, like, advocate of put your face right on your Etsy banner. Mm-hmm. Make sure that all your profile pictures are set to your face and not, you know, your logo when it comes to personal, like, profiles. Like, Facebook page, make it your logo, or make it, you know, something that is going to represent your business. Personal, and your Etsy profile, make sure that those are all your face. People want to connect with our brands on this human level because we're handmade artists. If we were like a big company, it would be one thing, but people are shopping from us because we're handmade. So really, you know, consider the way that people want to connect with you as a human being, and consider the fact that when they're buying from you, they're doing it almost not just for you, but so they can feel good about supporting a handmade business. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, people are selfish. So even if this stranger is doing you a kindness by shopping from you, they're still not really doing it for you as much as they're doing it for them. So always think about, you know, like, what is the selfish thing that they're aiming for. And then once you accept that, you know, there's kind of like a selfish nature in there, you can begin to use it to your advantage and shape it the way that you want to do it, in a way that looks really, really appealing to them as well.
Yeah. And say that you welcome friend requests as well. I mean, if you are open to that, say that you welcome them, because some people might not feel like they could. And I don't use Facebook for anything private whatsoever. The only thing that I would say was vaguely private was my wedding, and that was all posted by my buddies anyway. Like, they went onto my profile, took a wedding photo, and then shared it in my group for me, and just like, the new Mr. and Mrs. Westwood.
Yeah.
And I went back to find all of that. So they were sharing among their own friends who weren't friends with me. So they want to know that they've got the inside scoop. And that was one of the things that I've written after I sent you all of these like typed up notes. I added one handwritten, and it was, give yourself a bit of an air of mystery as well. People like to keep guessing. They want to ponder about it. They don't want necessarily to just find out the truth and they go, oh, okay. It's like you're on a date with your customers. You want to give them enough information that they want to go on a second date with you, and to keep them interested and to know that they like you. But if you tell them everything on the first date, you've got nothing to say on the second date.
That's very
and they would
true.
have come back either. Like, you've said everything.
Yeah, and you don't want them to know. I mean, I feel like we've, you know, as a group, the alphas know a lot about me, but there's still so much that you guys don't know, and it's to the point where you guys will meet me at live events to find out more, you know? You guys will tune in every Friday just to pick up one snippet of information that you didn't know last week. So think about how that will feel to your customers who idolize you as that artisan, or they want to know more about you. And if you guys are uncomfortable sharing anything about yourselves, which I know a lot of you are, that's okay too. Give them little snippets, like your favorite thing to order at Starbucks, you know, give them...
Or create a persona, create a pen name, create something that they can grasp onto. I was Amber Marie. I didn't have a surname for 4 years. I didn't have a surname. No one knew my surname, not even the people that I trusted the most. They never knew me as having a surname. They thought Marie was my surname, but it wasn't. Give them something that, like, oh, I now know this and no one else knows this, and I only know this because I'm in their VIP group. There was one thing that I came up with today, and it was a lot of people are posting those, what is your tinsely elf name? And it's pick the first letter of my first name and the last letter of my last name and my color of my knickers, and it creates your elf name. I thought, why don't you post that on your page and say, can anybody guess my elf name?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Your VIPs will be the first people to comment because they're like, well, I know her name and no one else does. And they'll be like, because they feel like they know you more than anybody else. And they're like, well, I reckon I could probably guess what color knickers she has because her favorite color is purple. And I know this because I'm in her VIP group.
Trying to just, I'm like imagining, because your fans are just as crazy about you as mine are. And I'm just imagining them like sitting there with the cork board with all the pins in it and the strings, connecting them all. Like, well, that one time she posted this, and she posted, and her logo is purple, and she's got a purple thing in her office. So, and then they like tie the string around that pin, and they're like,
they like puzzles. They want to solve things, and don't give them all the information at once. They want to work it out. And it is fascinating to watch people try and work it out, because you don't necessarily have to give them the answer. You could even post a really sarky GIF as the answer. Like, somebody says, "Oh, who prints your cards, or do you print all of your cards in house?" And then I go, "No, it's by magic," as a GIF, and that was it. That was it, and they love it because it's like, "Oh, damn, still didn't get my answer."
I do that too. Yeah, with the Key Club, they'll say, "How do you make these?" And I say, "So much coffee, so much coffee." And they're okay with it. You know, nobody's going to get mad at you for that. So just keep them guessing, keep them excited, keep them intrigued, let them feel special. I mean, you know, Renee Christine, her last name isn't Christine, guys. She's gotten married since then. But yeah, I mean, and put two and two together and you would know what her name is. It's really easy because everybody knows her husband, but everybody still calls her Renee Christine, or, You know, there's just so much that you can
And
do.
her being pregnant. No one knew whether it was pregnant by business, pregnant, like pregnant. Like everybody was just trying to guess it. And it was so fascinating to watch because no one knew. And even when she explicitly says, people were still like, yeah, but are you? Is
Right.
this a business plan?
No one's gonna believe it until she posts like her first bump picture.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you clearly knew that if she is pregnant, she didn't post it when she found out. She's waited, she's worked out the right time to tell people, she's divulged the information at the perfect time. She hasn't just blurted out her secrets or her surprises. She still keeps a private life with Tom.
Oh yeah.
Like, you still have a private life with Mark, and I still have a private life with Scott. I don't even call Scott in my group. I call him Mr. Amber Marie. So that when people see a comment where I've called him Scott, they're like, "Whoa, I know her husband's name and no one else does." It's really cute to watch because they feel like they're special. They feel like they've got in the inside scoop on your life when they haven't. It's all engineered to make them feel like that.
And that's good. That's like, you know, you guys call Mark Mark, but I don't call Mark Mark. Do you guys know what I call Mark? Put it in the chat if you know because Mark's his first name. Nobody calls him by his first name in the real world. Everybody calls him by his middle name. Guys, put that in the chat if you know what it is. What's my maiden name? Does anybody know what my last name was before Moore? Put that in the chat. I want to know. I want to know what you guys know. Oh, Chris was like, Anthony. Yes, his name is Mark. Not Anthony. You take that H out of his name right now. There's no H in there. It's Mark with a C. Anthony. Mark Anthony. All right. Where are we on our list?
I went off on an absolute tangent. Look at this. Look. It's a bit crazy.
We're having fun today, guys.
I've written down, why do people join groups? And there are three main reasons why people would join a VIP group. Number one are the frugals. They are people that join just for the code. They want the code, they want the offers, they want the discounts, they want VIP bundles and goodies, but they don't really care too much about you, which is fine. Keep them in there. They make up the numbers and they make up the people that actually go and they purchase from you.
It's flashy.
And they'll also add people who are of the similar behavior of wanting the code and wanting to purchase. There are people that are the lurkers, and they are the people that just want the juicy deets. They want to go in your group and they want to find out as much as they possibly can about things. They want to snoop in the lives. They will never comment. They will just be there, constantly there watching you. Those are the lurkers.
I love them.
And they make up the numbers as well. But then you've got the ride or die customers. These are the ones that will start fights over you because they want to make sure that they're the best fan. And those are the ones that will post for you when you don't. So if you had a quiet weekend where you just couldn't get to your phone or didn't have any content to post, they create content for you because they want to post. They're like, oh, this is a bit quiet in here and I really miss Amber. Oh, I'll post for her. Maybe she'll comment. And it's really cute to watch those three types of people interact. And you want to have content for all three of them to be interested and engaged. You don't just want to have one. You want to have three types. So I've almost created a sort of Venn diagram. And if you don't know what a Venn diagram is, it's a circle and another circle that slightly overlaps so that you can have things that appeal to one type of person and things that appeal to another type of person, and then things that appeal to both of them in the middle. And I've done it for three. And I have put in different types of posts that engage with other different types of people and which ones work best between two of the different types or three of the different types, because you will be amazed. You can absolutely guarantee the people that comment on specific posts based on what you post. For example, live streams, you know that the lurkers will be there. They'll never, ever, ever comment, and that you can just see them saying, so-and-so is watching, and you go, I knew you'd be watching. I knew. And the discount code, you can post a discount code, or you post a sale post, or you post a launch, and the first people to comment are the people that want the codes.
And you know, something I've noticed is the lurkers, if you want to grab their attention, another way to really get them to engage without them actually engaging is to do a poll, because they might not ever comment or like anything, but if you give them a poll where there's a question and it's important enough to them, they might vote on a poll, because they don't have to type anything, but they can click that poll and vote. So that's another
Yep.
little way to keep them engaged.
It's fascinating to watch the intricacies of all the different types of people. And I've also said that the people that buy regularly are collectors. Like, whether they're a collector of your stuff or collector of other things, they like to collect. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep purchasing things. And I've said, like, why don't you make your freebie for your VIPs something that they can collect, like a gotta catch 'em all sort of mentality of, once they've completed their collection or completed the range, they can send you a picture, kind of like a loyalty card, but in the way of freebies. And there's the Lucy Lockett legging group. They have freebie, like, sort of bracelets, like little teeny tiny friendship bracelets with like one bead on it, and people have got their whole arms. And it shows, they want to show how loyal they are to the group, and everybody knows what that means when they've posted their picture of their bands. Or they'll post in the group saying, has anybody got a purple one? I really, really, really want a purple one and I've never got one. Is anybody willing to do a swap? Start giving them reasons to post between each other, such as the fact that they love to collect and they want to collect with other people. And it becomes sort of an organic way of getting them to post. You don't want to just prompt them and go post something. You want them to feel like they just can, or they will. And I've said that people have used my packaging for their own crafts, and that was completely unprompted. People love my vellum so much that they want to make things with the vellum rather than put it in the bin, because they don't want to put it in the bin. It's really cute. So I started a competition about it. It didn't really work. No one really posted other than like 4 people, but it still created a reason for people to post.
It was special for those 4 people.
Yeah, it was. And some of them was really, really funny. My best friend, Heather, she made a lamp out of it. And she was like, thought process 10 out of 10, idea 8 out of 10, execution -2 out of 10. It was so bad. It was really funny. So it gets people to laugh because it's funny. And that was one of my other things. It's like, positive reactions only, please. Like, sad and angry reactions can count negatively towards your reach, whether for your page or your group or your timeline. The more people that are sad reacting and angry reacting, it means that your posts are triggering people to feel those negative emotions. So they're not going to boost you up in the groups. Whereas happy faces, laughing faces, and like hearts and wow faces are positive reactions. So the more people that are doing those, the more you're going to be showing up on people's timelines. And don't you want that to be the reaction for your posts? Because I do.
You don't want to see angry faces. We had, and somebody commented on it a little bit ago, but when I did my pre-launch last Friday, someone who wanted a key, like someone bought it out from under them, and she angry faced that girl's post, like, because she got the key faster. But I'm like, oh well.
Savage.
They are savage. Hey, Stephanie had a question. She said, so I really push my email list in my VIP. Do I give them a coupon code for joining the like
Yes. The people that join your group for the code, you want to make it super, super obvious of where you've put the code. So I have it in about 3 different places. I even have an image of the code for them. As soon as they've joined, it's the pinned post. There's a link to my website at the top so that they don't even have to bother trying to find it again. They've just got it straight away. And there are people that have said that they want to unsubscribe from my mailing list because they find out all the information in the VIP Facebook group. So yeah, I would give my code to both. You could even set a code for your group and set a code to your email list so that you can look at the analytics for both and see where your sales are definitely coming from, because that would be really interesting.
Yeah, so bounce between the two and using both as their own individual funnel. For me, I push people to join my email list to get the code, but then at the same time, I tell people on my email list to join my group, and I just I'm like tossing them back between, the two. And if they message me or if they post in my group and say, hey, I didn't get this email with this code, if they've told me they're already on my email list, I can fix that later. I can figure out why they're not getting emails, but I'll just go ahead and send them the code in the group anyway, because the group is closed and it still feels exclusive. It's still the community.
Yeah.
So there's still, ways to do that. It doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as your VIP code is exclusive and located in a VIP location, group, email list, both. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that they can easily access it and get to it quickly, and it's somewhere where they're not going to forget it. Like, those are the essential boxes that need to be ticked. So,
because it doesn't cost anything to set up a new code either.
No.
I mean, you've done one for Black Friday. Why not do one for your email list and one for your VIP group and see which one gets the most traffic? And as much as the email list might be the people that get the link straight away and can go straight to your website and purchase, the one that will get used the most will be your VIP group, because you're constantly posting in your Facebook group. You're not constantly sending emails.
Hopefully.
So yeah, your revenue might be smaller amounts over a longer period of time on your VIP group, but your email list will be big chunks of revenue when you've sent out a campaign. It'd be interesting to look. I'd love to people to post your results. I'd love to see.
And do a little A/B split test.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
I don't know if this is coming up in topic soon, but Lori wanted to know, what's the best way to get people to join when you're just starting the group and not many people are in it yet?
So that's the next bit I've got here, is that you want people to make them feel like they want to be a part of your group. Then collaborations don't necessarily have to just involve businesses, they can involve customers. And the most biggest fluctuation of group members that I've had have been when I've been doing competitions or giveaways or that sort of thing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you win a huge prize. It's you win that your dog gets to be on my card design. That's it. That's all you get. But you need to join my Facebook group to be able to post a photo of your dog. So the first competition that I ever ran was a calendar, and I needed 13 dogs, so 12 for each month and then one for front page. And then everybody who entered, I shortlisted to about 20, and then they had to do a vote. And everybody that liked, I then went and invited them into my group and into my page, because I was like, well, you're going to want to buy the calendar, which is only available via my VIP group. So here's the link. And they were like all their friends and family, so they wanted to buy the calendar. And it had maybe 1,000 people joined my VIP group just because their dog could be on a calendar, and they didn't even win. Then I did my Cocker Spaniel tea towel design, which is 15 different dogs all on one design, and everybody who wanted to submit their Cocker Spaniel joined my group to be able to purchase the tea towel, even if their dog wasn't on it, because they saw the progression of me making it and drawing each one. They wanted to purchase it at the end. And that was how I started to do my printed products. So then they realized, well, actually, I can get my own dog done now rather than be as part of a huge collaborative tea towel. And now, because I do my party animal designs, such as Bubba's on the Feline Frenzy card, everyone gets to suggest the breeds that I haven't done yet and then submit their own pets for it. And they also, if I ever go, I'm really in need of a Labradoodle for my Oodles of Doodles design, does anybody know anybody with one? They start tagging and inviting all of their friends that have doodles, because they want their friends to be in on the party. And it's really interesting to see how quickly people go, oh, my dog could be famous, so I'm going to post it. So people want to feel like they could join part of your business and feel like they're making it a doorbell, making them feel like they're having an impact on your business. And some of them, you could even say, I'm having a huge rehaul of stock, going through everything from 2015, because I did that. I went through every single one of my old pieces. And I said, they're only going to be available in my VIP group, at a huge discount. Get people to go in there and make them feel like, well, they're the only people that will be having access to these products specifically. So people start joining that way. And yeah, like I kind of just put suggestions out of, I'm really in need of somebody to do this. Or does anybody know somebody that could do animation? And I think I had a few people to comment on that. And in the end, I went with my brother. But give people a reason to join, and they'll probably forget that they're in the group until they see something that's interesting. But get them to get in there by posting something that they might feel like they could be part of it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not super active. Like, I could be so much more active in my group than I am, just because I also have the alphas in terms of my actual key group. But what I do is I'll post things that trigger engagement. Like for Thanksgiving, I did a, what was it? It was, what's your it was like a zodiac type thing, but it was all the months, and then you had to figure out what Thanksgiving food was your month. And I was like, I'm buttery rolls. What are you guys? And then there was another one that I posted last night, and it was like, one of the Thanksgiving foods has to go. Which one are you getting rid of? And it was like, you know, turkey, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, yada yada. And everybody was commenting and saying which one that they could live without. But I don't.
And Brits were staring at the image like, I don't even know what that is. What is that? What is E? What is it? It looks like poo. What is it?
There were a bunch of things in there that I didn't even know what they were. I was like, what? I think this is supposed to be stuffing. I don't know. But people go crazy. We call these engagement posts. And in the Handmade Alpha Academy group, if we find like a good engagement post, we'll usually someone will throw one in there and say, hey, here's a good engagement post for everyone to steal. And we kind of, you know, toss around ideas like that. But there's so many ways that you can get people to engage. And even though I'm not in there all the time, I have other people posting for me, like Amber said, because they're conditioned to do so. And when I do live launches, it's like people who I haven't heard from since the last launch kind of come out of the woodwork because they've been waiting to buy. So
yeah.
Awesome.
And also, like, when you do post these engagement posts, tell them what you want them to do. You don't just post the image and then run. And you also don't just post something that you think is funny and then run, because people might not have the same sense of humor as you, so they might not understand that that post is supposed to be funny. So put a few laughing faces, or tell them what you'd like them to do with the engagement post, because some people don't understand, especially a certain generation that will not be named, that don't know how Facebook works, and believe that their son can see every single post that they've ever commented on. They don't know how Facebook works. So tell them what you want them to do in your group. So comment below or post a picture below. Tell them what you want them to do.
Right. And, you know, they get to learn something new out of that, too. Yeah. I saw this. Have you seen that, like, string of screenshots? It was like, God bless grandmas on Facebook or something, and it had all the screenshots of their profiles, where in their profile bio it was like, my name is Janice, I love my kids, and I also have diabetes, or I have high blood pressure. And I'm just like, and it's on her bio. Or they'll try to like send a message to a friend, but then they just put it as their Facebook bio. And it's so sweet. I'm just like, oh, grandmas, sweet grandmas. We're not including all grandmas. We got accused of hating.
No. There are certain people that do not understand how social media or computers work, and sometimes you just need to give a bit of coaxing. And as long as you make it universal, that you don't sound patronizing to anybody who does know how to use it, then it should be fine.
Exactly, and know your audience too. You know, if you're making, you know, what's a good example? If you're making covers for pop sockets for phones, there's a good chance that you're selling to younger people, so you don't really need to spell it out as much. But if you're selling, you know, pet portraits where everybody has a pet no matter how old they are, and anybody could be obsessed with their pet, you got to spell it out a little bit. My audience,
post the right content to the people that are doing it as well. You don't want to post anything that's too political. You don't want to post anything that's too private. And you also don't want to just post things just for the hell of it. Like, the people that are in that group have a specific lifestyle and a specific reason they're in your group. Don't just start sharing random crap that you found that you think is funny, because they might not find it funny.
It needs to be relevant in some way.
Yeah.
There needs to be a little bit of relevance there.
And the one thing that you can guarantee is always relevant and relatable are GIFs. Post them everywhere. They are like mini versions of perfect content. They last like what, 3 seconds, and you can comment with them, and you can just type how you're feeling or your reaction to someone's comment and just post it. And that's how I interact a lot of the time with a lot of my customers. Whenever I get a review on my Facebook page, I always react with a GIF, because it not only gets across my thank you, but it also makes them laugh. Because a lot of the times I see people's reviews, then the person just goes thank you, and then that's it. And you're like, oh, that's really boring. So many businesses just reply with thank you, whereas I go like, oh, stop it. GIFs.
Oh, stop it.
Because it was funny, and then they start reacting to it, and then they comment and they go, but I've got to say it though. And then it starts that conversation, and it starts their interaction, rather than just, I love my portraits, thank you, and then that's it. And you're like, oh.
We're working on an alpha Giphy account. There's about 20 Giphy or GIFs loaded into Giphy. And apparently if we like get enough GIFs in there and submit some application, we can be an official, like, you guys can type Handmade Alphas into Giphy on Facebook and find our exclusive GIFs. So hopefully that's coming in the near future. We've got about 20 GIFs.
Your own GIFs. Why not? Do it.
Yeah. All you got to do is put in a Facebook or a YouTube URL of a video that you have that's under, I think, like 9 minutes, and you can clip it down and make your own GIFs.
Yep. Even you working and just like, either you make a mistake and you're just like, there's so many different reactions that are so relatable to everybody, because everybody has probably gone through it at some point. And I use them all the time, and I always get a reaction to it, rather than just a like on a comment. Like thank you would just be like a like, whereas I want the laughing faces, I want the love hearts. So that's why I post them everywhere. And if you're ever stuck for an image to post with a post, so that you're typing something and you need to post something important, but you haven't got a graphic ready for it, and you haven't gone into iPicky and you haven't made anything, post a GIF. Why not? It's easy, and it's more noticeable when you're scrolling through Facebook. Images and videos are immediately like, oh, I want to stop, and I want to stop scrolling to read this.
You can add a human face to it, almost like where you can add actual human emotion and expression, and it's almost like even if the person looks nothing like you, you can take on the emotions of what that person has. That way your audience member feels whatever emotion they're seeing in that GIF. Penguins and Paper Chains is very excited to join us live and wants to know what you would suggest for someone who can't work full-time on their business. They don't want people to think that their group is inactive and give up on it. So should she wait to start one until she can be more active?
No, you can schedule posts in groups. So I would suggest if you really couldn't just do it as and when, because that is when the posts work the best, is when it is spur of the moment,
organic
moments of time where you've just taken a selfie and you've posted it in your group. If you really can't commit to that, then you can schedule things. But I would always make sure, and I know that you do this, Starla, I can always tell when a post is scheduled, because it's always an exact time.
Yep.
Try and make it 12:02, because then it looks like you're really there. Even if you're on, make the time slightly off an actual time, because the people that, like me, that are looking there like, she's not there, unless there was an absolute fluke and she managed to post at exactly 12 o'clock. That's scheduled.
Sometimes I am that weirdo that waits until it hits a certain time and then I push the button. But no, none of the last few posts have been. But that's something.
On the page is absolutely fine, because most people would assume that you are waiting for an actual time. But if it's a selfie and stuff, You want to make your group feel like you are there, even if you're not. So make it a bit more fluid.
Next scheduled post that you guys see from me, I'm gonna do it at an off time, and everyone's gonna comment like and tag Amber in it, and Amber's gonna be like, "Why is everyone tagging me in this?" and not understand why.
Yeah.
We
It's weird. Like, you can tell, and it's always an exact time, and I'm like, oh. It's in a group. You're like, well, don't you want? Could you not be here for that 1 second? Because that's your VIPs. You want them to feel like they can connect with you, and if it's a scheduled post, then they're like, well, she's probably not there.
And I've heard that scheduled posts, I don't know, I don't want to like say that this is 100% confirmed unless someone can find a source for us, but I've heard that scheduling posts, those posts won't perform as well as if you, because that Facebook can pick up on that and Instagram can pick up on that, where they know that they were scheduled, so they don't perform nearly as well as if you posted it in the moment. So we try to do a lot of in the moment posts. There's just like, there are times when you have to schedule them, and don't feel like, oh, no one's going to see this because I scheduled it, because that's not true. In fact, most of the time I'm still asleep when my posts post because I sleep.
Well, it depends on who's in your group. If I'm UK and I have a mostly US based audience, then the ones that I post during the day are not going to be seen by my US customers until way, way, way later in the day anyway. So sometimes scheduling posts will work in your favor depending on your time zone. But there are certain things that you can also add into your post that will boost the engagement. So adding an image, not having links in your group or your page, because links are never really working on Facebook. They're not favored at all. If you post a link, make sure that you know that people are currently in your group literally watching as you speak, such as during a launch. So people are looking for that image and then go, right, cool, I've got the link. Because I think Facebook, they want you to pay for advertising. Whether they have explicitly said that or not, they want you to pay for advertising. So links will always be seen as advertising, whether they're to an actual product or not. They don't really want you to perform as well without paying.
Exactly.
So links.
And that happened a while ago. That was like 2013 that there was like this whole uproar where everyone was like, go blue for Facebook. And all the pages posted, Facebook is dropping reach. You have to pay for it now. Everybody change your profile pictures blue in protest. And that didn't do anything. That happened in 2013, and I can remember like participating and changing my profile picture blue, but still thinking like, Facebook is a business. This isn't going to change. This isn't going to do anything.
Alan says, is putting the link in the comments okay though? I think that works perfectly, but I wouldn't do it straight away. So let your post work, give it 2 minutes, and then post the link in the comments, because it's almost like you're boosting your own page. And yeah,
let it get a few likes first too. Like, let a few people see, like it and get a few likes in there, and say post in the comments, or the link in the comments, and then they're sitting there and they're like, there's no link, but then they see someone is typing, and then they're all just sitting there waiting patiently, and then you post that link, and then like 3 people who are watching waiting, they're all liking that post. So Facebook's saying, okay, it's a link, but people are liking it, so that it's okay. Yeah. And we're just speculating how that algorithm works, but that's how it appears to work.
And it isn't one shoe fits all. It all depends on your fans. Like, post several different types of posts and different types of ways of saying things, and see which one works the best, because your fans might interact completely differently to my fans. So try it. Everyone's a guinea pig. So go for the social experiment and try and change and adapt things. Because my word isn't necessarily gospel. It might not work in your groups, but just try to change the way that you do things. so that your fans go, oh, yes, I want to interact with this.
Exactly. And it's going to change, not just by niche, but by age, by, part of the world that they're in. We've got a lot of people who say, oh, your bubbly attitude and your bubbly swipe files would never work, here in my area of the world. And I'm like, okay, well then change it, adapt it, be adaptable, because my fans.
I don't even send them anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I don't either. And I have people, I have alphas. Well, I have alphas who order from me and they're like, Starla, I was expecting swipe files. I'm like, yeah, the swipe files are used to start conditioning people to leave good reviews. I'm not hurting for good reviews. These are very important for customer service. But when I have the same people ordering over and over again, and I recognize every single name and every single person who orders has the little star, or if I recognize that it's an alpha and I know that they know that they're getting a swipe file, then I usually don't send them anyway. And now it's to the point where it's all repeat buyers and it's all alphas, and I'm just like, it would be silly for me to send them. But for those who do use them, they, most of our alphas say that it is the most valuable item that they have or that they've received from the alpha community, which we're going to be giving those away again December 8th after the Brand Planet webinar, and you guys can pre-register for that at handmadealphaacademy.com. Right on the homepage, you'll find a picture of a laptop, and I'm on the laptop, and it says something success psychology brand, I can't remember, but it's there, and there's planets and space and free webinar. Click on that, and it's spacey and fun, and go register, because we only do that webinar once a year. Otherwise you have to meet me in person live at events to hear that presentation. So yes,
they're amazing if you are just starting out and you want to get those reviews, or you sell a few big ticket items. When you sell £52.95 cards a day, the swipe files are just too much for me to have to do. I'd rather make my packaging and spend my time doing that and send them out on time, rather than spend that time sending 50 people a message.
Well, we've already established our personality, and our fans, even if they don't get that swipe file, they know who we are. I am so confident excuse me. I'm still sick, guys. I'm so confident that I'm not going to receive a bad review that I don't feel like it's necessary, because we have so many people, in both of our groups. They know that we're warm. They know that we're loving. They know that we love them. They know that we spoil them. They know our personalities already. They know if they have an issue with their order, all they have to do is contact us. So that's why we don't use them anymore. And it's not that I'll never use them again, because I'm sure I will. But especially around like holiday time, when I've got 100 orders or 200 orders, or, whatever I end up with after the end of the day, we're at like 115 right now. It gets really hard. So we're at, timestamp, we're at 1:14. So we're technically like 15 minutes over what we normally do for Q&A, but I want to give people an opportunity to ask questions. Do you want to have them start? Do you have any like last minute things you want to squeeze in, and while they're typing their questions in, since there's a lag?
I mean, I think that we've already covered the thing I was saying about the poll, is that people who don't necessarily comment anything will probably always vote on a poll, because it's so easy. So you want to come up with engaging content like polls. That's a great way of asking stupid questions, such as, what should I have for dinner tonight? Because I've done that before. And it also is good for market research. So your group is full of your ride or die fans, or your lurkers, or your penny pinchers. They are the kind of people that you want to know the answers to questions such as, do I need to do X or Y? Do I need to change this? Do you guys feel like this is not hitting the mark right at the moment? Those are the people that you want to know the feedback. So ask as many polls as you possibly can, because they really, really work. And you get to see the little faces and how many people, and people feel like, oh, I haven't taken part in the poll. Oh no, my face isn't on there. Amber will be really upset if my face isn't on there. And I'm like, yes, I am terribly disappointed that you Sarah are not on there. Very, very disappointed. No idea who you are, but I'm very disappointed that you didn't take part. It's really adorable to watch people. They feel like, well, oh no, Amber needs to know my opinion,
Or
and they do.
they want to be
their
first.
Yeah. So don't always be upset that your posts don't have likes on them, and please don't like them yourself. It's a little bit weird, and I don't know why I don't like it. But when you like your own posts, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, because so liking a post is a form of validation. You're waiting to put something out and see how the public will respond to your post. So when you respond yourself, you're not boosting the post at all by doing it. You're just kind of like saying, I approve of, my name is Starla Moore and I approve of my own message.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know why I don't know, but it doesn't sit well with me, and I think it is because you want your fans to be to have that opportunity to be the first person to like it.
Maybe
So,
if you want to engage with your own post, like make the first comment on it and make it a GIF. Like,
yeah,
that would be a good way to do it. Like to get people going to like post some like dancing, like woo, our sale just started, and then post a GIF in the comments of some little dancing people.
yeah. Like the reason why you haven't had any likes isn't because no one likes it. It's maybe people haven't seen it yet, and people always want to be the first person to like it. And if you're ever scrolling through a group and you see something, you go, "Oh, it's got no likes on it," like, and you're like, "Oh, I missed that by about 5 people." You might not have seen the likes or the comments on it until you comment on it. Like there are a few people in your group where you go and do a live and they try and comment sold and they're like, "Oh, I'm the first person." Yes. So, oh, I've missed it.
Yep.
You want to give them that experience of like almost first.
And that's a good experience. Like that even though it's a negative feeling, it's almost like a good negative feeling too.
It gives them a competition to try again next time.
Right.
And the same with your posts. If like you're giving them snippets to your private lives that is not private, is absolutely public, and you can make a huge list of things that you would eventually let them know, and there are things that you will never let them know. Like I will never talk about my super private life with Scott because it's not needed, it's not wanted in my group. But there are certain things like what breed of dog I'm getting. I'm not telling anybody apart from that one time in that live video that people are now going to try and hunt out because they want to know. So they're going to watch that live stream the whole way through to try and find out. And you want to give them those snippets of information and make them feel like they're the first person to know and the first person to like.
Exactly. And that's like Renee Christine, people, I'm sure people have watched her whole live stream just to find out if she's really pregnant, So it's
and they still don't know.
And it's just it's just little things where people will sit and watch the whole thing because they want to know. They want to know and that's why that was the headline of, she had all this important information, but the headline of that was the most the most intriguing thing. So, and the whole stream wasn't about her being pregnant. Like that was just a little piece of it, but she knew that was the most important thing. So that's the thing that she mentioned. We'll go for like 10 minutes, guys. We didn't really have a whole lot of questions. So let's go ahead and give everyone 10 minutes to get questions in. We'll do lightning round, and we will try to get through those. And then we are going to be packing orders. But Amber, at the end of every stream that I do with the alphas, you've already answered this question about a gazillion times, but you're going to do it again because every time we talk to a student, we ask them. I'm going to cover my ears, and if you have any negative about Handmade Alpha Academy, you're more than welcome to say that. But ultimately, for the alphas who are thinking about joining, you go ahead and tell them whatever you want to tell them. This is like Amber's honest review. Covering my ears, and go.
So I started out as an artist that drew people's dogs day in, day out. That's all I did. I maybe printed a few products, but I didn't have a collection. I didn't have a product line. I didn't have an Etsy shop. And now I have, I don't even know.
Look at them all. No, you can see them.
So like lagging, but I now have a collection where I sell those cards every single day. So many cards are Etsy because I now have a product line that sell and sell and sell and sell. And I never would have had that without Handmade Alphas because I thought that I needed to have just this one big ticket item all the time. And it's actually, well, no, I need, well, cutting off my head. I need, I need a product line now. So I have one, and my fans get to join my product line by being in my most popular. And I never knew that I would have a stupid name for it, but there you go. And I have the most loyal fans as well. Like I had them before, but I didn't really know how to use them, if that makes sense. Like I had my really, really loyal fans that would keep coming back, but I never saw that as a good thing. I never saw that as something that was amazing and was actually really hard for other people to get. And I didn't actually use them for what they should have been for. Like, yeah. My poor group. They felt so abused and neglected.
But look at them now. Look how happy they are now. And you've been able to do so much in the last few months. You've gotten married. You've been able to buy a house.
And have a whole new studio.
You have a giant office now that is all organized with pretty little pretty card racks and all these racks for all of your products. And you're like Amber famous now. Everybody wants to know about Amber and her private life, and it's crazy. Okay, questions are starting to roll in. Robin wants to know, how often should we post in our group a day?
As much as you want. There is no limit except for don't be silly.
Yeah, if it feels like you're being silly, posting like every 5 minutes. Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm back.
It also depends on how many other posts are being posted at the same time. So if you're posting 3 times a day, but it's being subsidized by other fans posting, then you can post more because it's not so much you. But if you still are in that phase when no one's really posting anything yet, why not, if ever a customer sends you a photo on Etsy or on Facebook page or on your website or emails, and they send a picture, ask them to post in your group. You go, oh my God, you need to post this in my group. My fans will love it. They'll want to know where you got it and what you think of it, because that not only gives them content to post and you can sit back and go, okay, I don't need to create a post for today. That also gives your other fans the confidence to purchase from you, because it's almost like a positive review without being a 100% would recommend. Just a photo of somebody enjoying your product is enough for someone to then want to go and purchase.
And it triggers a chain reaction of people who say, oh, I have got a photo of my product too. I want to post my picture. And usually if I've got someone they'll post their key collection, like all the keys that they bought from me. And then, like 5 other people will pop in and post their key collections too, because they want to say, oh, I have more, or my keys are better. I have better keys than you. Right, I'm the winner. So, let's see. Stephanie, did you get my clip that I sent you? I did, Stephanie. I haven't replied to any clips or Alpha of the Year videos because we've been so busy, but the competition for Alpha of the Year doesn't start till the 16th, so we've got time. I know yours wasn't Alpha of the Year, but we're still working through it. Even though we're down to like 2 days left to prepare. We'll get there. Lena said, any ideas for a group or for a jewelry business, for a group for a jewelry business? Still struggling with it. You got a jewelry is broad.
Or
a
group name or things to post?
I think that she just wants to find like her inner meaning. Like what is the inner depth of the group, the inner meaning, other than just jewelry, but you have to define what that jewelry is. Mine is fantasy jewelry. We've got a girl who makes necklaces out of funeral flowers, the petals of funeral flowers, and her whole thing is loved ones and remembering people. And then if you do pet jewelry, pet birthstones. It's going to be similar to Amber's group where everyone's posting pictures of their animals, and you have to have the inner meaning of your jewelry. And if you don't have a meaning for your jewelry, if you're just like, oh, it's just silver, then you create a meaning. You decide what that meaning is going to be. Is it going to be self-esteem? Is it going to be, uniqueness? Is it going to be eco-friendly? You have to define that meaning. So that is 100% up to you. Let's see. I would like ideas for content to gain my group following. You may already gave some ideas. Sorry, just joined the chat. That's pretty much all we did. So I would definitely watch the replay because I think content was a majority of what we talked about today. Let's see. If you could give yourself one piece of advice before you started your business, what would it be? Ooh, that's a good one. One piece of advice before you started your business.
I would suggest that to have more confidence in yourself. Like I started out not really thinking it was a business at all. And I also never read any books about businesses. I never watched any YouTube videos about businesses. I didn't really have a structure for a business. I just I wrote all of my orders down, like handwritten. I had all my payments through PayPal rather than a website or an actual like legitimate site where I could have my orders listed. All of my emails still come through to Amber Marie Artwork at live.co.uk, which is just so frustrating to me. But it is just making sure that you have the framework for a business before you get ahead of yourself, and then you have to backtrack everything. Like I am now going through so much stock of where I printed it for no reason other than, oh, I like this design. I had no reason for it. I didn't have a backup of knowing that a customer would definitely buy it. I just have it, and I've wasted so much revenue and like so many things that I've printed that are just not viable. I have a thing in front of my face now.
Oh crap, that's me. I did that. Sorry.
But yeah, it's to just go back and if I could go back, I would try and sit down when I had the time, because now for me to take a whole day out, admin, and go through everything and change all of my terms and conditions and my Etsy shop links and stuff like that. Like, oh my God, I would kill for a week without any orders, without any portraits to do, no worry about having to make enough money to pay for the mortgage. But if I could go back and I could just do a whole week of admin and go back through and really, really get to the nitty gritty of the business and making sure everything's kosher, everything's working, oh, that would be amazing.
So savoring that time and making sure that you're using it intelligently. I would say the same. And I would also say that I wish when I started out that I would have taken more time to learn, and I wish that I would have been looking for the right information. Not that there isn't good information about Etsy on YouTube, because there is. But when I started out, I actually created the YouTube channel because there was no one doing what I do right now, where they're always online every single week. They're giving new information where they're not just reiterating old crap over and over again. I had to create that because it didn't exist. So you guys have kind of that benefit where you have this channel. I wish I would have invested more, and this isn't like a push to try to market Handmade Alpha Academy, because this is general education, but I wish I would have invested more money into education because I wasn't in college. There are so many books that I wish I would have read sooner. There are courses that I wish I would have taken sooner. And I wish that I wouldn't have just tried to rely on the information that every single person was getting on YouTube, because if every single person has access to it for free, everybody's doing it, and there's no secret tactic there that's going to give you a leg up on the competition.
Whereas when you pay for that information, whether it be a course or a book or, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, you're paying for it for a reason. It's because the content is exclusive and it's sacred, and you're getting more than what the general public gets. So I wish I would have invested pretty much, I would say 90% of my income back into my business in my first like 2 or 3 years. I think I could have grown a lot faster if I would have done that. So,
and when I first started my business, I was in my 4th year, for my final year of my business, final year of my degree, and every single penny that I made, I didn't need to spend because I had my university grant and loan to get me through my degree, and I saved it all. And I didn't learn anything using that money. I didn't invest it in anything other than learning to drive. And I mean, I'm so glad that I did learn to drive, but that money just whittled away to nothing. And I wish I had put it towards other things when I didn't have to spend that money on anything else. That was just, it was free resources basically. And I had all the time in the world, and now I don't.
yeah. And any free moment that, if you guys are at that point where, and it's one or the other, you're either time rich and money poor, or, you know, you're money poor, time rich, money poor, or time poor, money rich. And Amber and I are time poor, money rich, where we have money because our businesses are doing fantastic, but damn, I wish we had more time. You know, and that's when you hit that point where you have to like ask for help. But when you're at that point where you are time rich and money poor, you should be investing that time into learning more. That way you can get to the point where you've got plenty of money, but you don't have time to spend it. Because that's a great problem to have. It's a much better problem to have than not knowing, you know, how you're going to cover Thanksgiving dinner, which Mark and I have been in that position several times. When he was in the military, they used to come to our door and bring us like boxes of food and cans and a turkey, because we were, you know, everybody knew that we didn't have a lot of money. There were a lot of families like that. It wasn't just us, but, you know, there were a lot of families who received dinner for free because of that. The Magnet Maiden. What if your customers take, no offense, terrible photos? It doesn't matter. They're posting it, not you. You don't have to post it.
It gives people competition to go, well, I can take a better photo than that of my stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't worry about that. Maybe you don't have to repost photos like that, but don't worry.
I would also say that like perfect photos belong on Instagram. Not so perfect photos are absolutely welcome on Facebook, because everybody else is in the same position where they can't take a photo.
Bad photos tend to, if I take a bad photo like with my phone or use like a Snapchat filter, it always performs better than if I have a professional photo, because people are like, oh, she snapped that. She's a person. She has a phone. She's a person like me. She uses Snapchat filters. I use those, you know.
Yeah.
So, when do you work art? Do you photograph your drawings yourself? And then how do you go about getting the photos onto all of the different things that you sell?
So I have a scanner, and I scan them at 300 DPI. I used to scan them at 1,200 DPI, and it just filled my computer so fast. Because if you think about an A3 is 12 by 16 inches, and if there's 1,200 dots per inch. So yeah, I scan them all, and I then have to go into Photoshop and I clean it up. So I remove any of the paper edge lines and any of the hair or the dust that's on the the screen. And I can color edit it and all of that. All the stuff that you've learned in iPeaky, I basically have to do with every single drawing. And then I can print them onto items via my suppliers. So I only print like small things like stickers, because I don't have the actual resources and time to be able to print the number of cards and the number of mugs that I need. So if you look at my mugs this month, my invoice from my seller at wholesale cost came to about £1,000 of just mugs. And I don't have that many mugs. So I'm glad she's taking over that. and I just send her over the images, and then she can print them. I don't know how she prints them. I don't know. If you gave me the machine that she uses, I wouldn't even know where to start.
You should ask her to send a picture. That way you can share it and do like a thank you. Thank you to, you know, my mug warrior who always makes sure that you guys have amazing mugs. Or do you not want people to know that you're not sitting there printing all the
Oh, no, I don't mind. Like, it's more of a case of she has her own business.
Right.
Which is Cocker Spaniels Are Us. And I kind of feel like it's a bit too exclusive to Cocker Spaniels.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know whether I want to post. I'll post her name rather than her business.
Yeah.
Because
People might just like to see it.
Anyway. Yeah.
They want to know that it's not like a sweatshop somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
Might be a fun thing to do. Scott asked another good question. Scott's like full of the deep questions. Wait, this is your Scott in the chat.
He's a little sneaky little.
I've just been reading them, not even understanding who I'm reading from. I'm just like, oh, there's a man. There's a man in the chat. Scott, he should just come in the room and ask the questions. He wants to know, what do you hope to achieve in 10 years? Amber, you better say something nice.
So next year, I really hope to have our house finished so that I get to have some evenings with my husband. We are both working so hard. So at the moment, he is spending a lot of time away from work to help fix the house. And he's also spending a lot of the money to help fix the house. And I'm needing to work to pay for the things to help fix the house. But once the house is finished, I'm really looking forward to being able to get a dog and really kind of join in that fandom that all of my fans get to experience every day of having a pet. I can't feel that because I don't have my own. And I can't wait for that to be a point where I get to match my fans' sort of enthusiasm for dogs. And business-wise, I would love to eventually have a solid line of products that I can keep sending out to all my shops. So at the moment, every time I try and get a wholesale order, I'm sending out my catalog, and then I'm saying, also coming soon, and then a long list of things that I haven't quite added to the catalog yet that I've finished. And I just want to have a catalog that is ready and sent and done so that I can be in more shops, because it is easier to sell 100 items to one person than it is to send 100 items to 100 people, or one item.
Because then there's no, and it's one transaction. It's not attempting to make 100 sales. It's one sale. So it makes things a lot easier. Achieving things. Okay, so you started with personal, so I'll start with personal. I would like to get out of the tiny house. I know that that's kind of like my thing, is I'm like, oh, I live in a tiny house, and everyone assumes that I must be rich and live in a mansion. But no, I live in a very, very, very tiny house. Our upstairs is, so like our basement, I think I've shown it off a few times, but our upstairs is just as big with all the bedrooms and everything, and I have another office up there. So, and our kitchen and living room are all like the same room. So I would like to, despite the fact that we totally could, we have the money to get out of this tiny house right now, we just don't have the time to do like what Amber's having to do right now and spruce up the tiny, the house. I don't have time to do that right now. So long term, get out of the tiny house, get into a bigger house where I can have an exclusive studio and jewelry making studio. And Mark and I don't have to share, because this is his music space too. I don't want to share the music space with the YouTube like Alpha studio. So that's long-term goal, personal goal. And then for my business, I would like to hire more people to help. And nothing against anyone who hires out to the Philippines. Filipino workers are fantastic. They work very, very hard. And because of, how currency translates over there, a little bit of money here is a lot of money there. And people like Anthony Wolf and Renee Christine, they have a lot of luck with, hiring out of the country. But what I want to be able to do is pay significantly more to have employees who live very, very close to me, to the point where if I wanted to hold like a meeting at my house, they could all come over. And I also want that to translate to my customer service, where there's no, translation barriers or anything, where my employees are helping my alphas. I want it to be seamless. So that would be my hope for the long run. If we ever need like developers or anything techie, I'm more than happy to hire a Filipino worker because they do an amazing job. But when it comes to actual customer communication, I want that to be seamless. And I like it when Nate is able to just come over, not just because he brings us coffee, but I want to hire somebody who's close by, who I can rely on, just as much as Nate when we need someone here, like that day, come help me with this thing. I like to have that connection with people where it's not just a screen. So, that is my hope. Of course we are. Let's see. My dog drives me nuts. Oh, that was an older comment. I live in a 48-foot travel trailer. I literally live in a tiny house, but it's a dream I was able to reach since joining HAA. That's awesome though. If that's all you need, then that's fine. It's just, we've got a YouTube studio, we have an Etsy studio, we have a child, we have 4 animals, we have Mark's music equipment, so we need at least, a space that's bigger than what we're in. Next goal is to up our solar to a bigger system. Up our solar to a bigger system.
Like solar energy?
Solar energy, solar to a bigger system. Up your solar to a bigger system.
Another thing about the goals is that last year I made so many goals. I even posted them in HAA groups, and I didn't achieve even half of them. And I feel like sometimes you give yourself too many goals to achieve. So if you just pick one and stick at it, like I was like, I'll do 100,000 sales. Nowhere near. But the day that I do reach it would be a fun day.
Make achievable goals, guys. Don't over goal yourself, because then all of the accomplishments that you do make, you won't feel as special about, and you should celebrate all of those accomplishments.
I never knew that I was going to buy a house this year.
And that's a huge accomplishment. That's you knew you were getting married though.
Yes.
So that one you talked about for a while, but the house thing, that's a new accomplishment. Getting married is an accomplishment. Robin did answer the question. She said we live off grid. So yes, that's very.
Do you post about that in your group? Because people would be fascinated to know how you do your everyday life things.
Yeah, even talking about living in a little house, like a travel trailer, like saying, there's that used to be, something that people didn't brag about when they're like, oh, I live in a travel trailer. But now when you see videos on Facebook of these families who are like, I'm self-sustainable. I don't need to have like a giant mansion. Look how tiny my house is. Those are huge things that are going viral now. And it's like, it's something that people aspire to have, is to live in one of the tiny houses. So I think
there's even a series on Netflix about tiny houses.
Yeah, so that's something that you could totally brag about and talk about frequently, and say, look, I'm getting all my work done. I'm doing all my Etsy work in my tiny house. There's so much that you could do with that. So, all right, guys, we have streamed for 1 hour and 45 minutes. So this is our longest alpha interview of the year, but that's okay, because I feel like this was probably one of the most info-packed Q&As that we've had. People were taking notes the whole time. People were saying, this is so good, in the comments the whole time. So, and there's no one that I would have rather sat and talked to this long than Amber. I think that we're on the same wavelengths, and I feel like it went really well. And she got to talk a lot while I got to sit and drink my coffee, which is, what I had ultimately hoped for, because I've been sick. So guys, I hope that you have an amazing weekend. I hope that your Black Friday sales go well, but if not, do not fret. There is always next year. Take the things that you learned this year and flip them, and don't just wait until the holidays next year to start prepping. You should start prepping right after this ends and start thinking about how you want to improve next year. Handmade Alpha Academy will be opening this Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern. We have over 400 successful alphas in HAA who love it. There's going to be so much information sent to you via email, who should buy, who should not buy, who it's for. We'll probably pop into the Handmade Alpha Facebook community with a live stream the day that it opens and chat with you guys a little bit about HAA to answer your questions. But if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to email me at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com, and I will personally email you right back. Not right back, but I will email you sometime over the next few days with the answer to your question. It's not immediate because I am a real person and I have lots of Etsy orders. And then handmadealphaacademy.com. Head over there if you want to get into pre-registration for the webinar on December 8th. We only do this webinar once a year, and you can get my free swipe files at the end of that. So super duper exciting. Thank you for hanging out with us, Amber, with me. Mark's upstairs. All of Amber's links are down below if you want to follow her on social media. Check out her VIP group. Check out her Etsy shop. Check out her website. I highly recommend, if you decide to shop from Amber, do it from her website because it is an experience, though obviously I'm an Etsy advocate. Her website is very, very fun and very pleasing to look at. So be sure to check out all of the links. Stephanie says, 2 days. Can't wait to meet new alphas. Super exciting.
Feel free to add me as a friend and make me join your groups as well. I'm more than happy to be your power wolf.
Yes, Power Wolves. You guys, new alphas will get to learn what Power Wolves are in just a few days. Super exciting.
Even if it is a case of, like, I think I did it in Linda's group where she said, she hasn't organized a powwow, and I commented saying, "What's a powwow?"
What's a powwow?
I'm obviously not going to be a target audience for everyone, but I'm more than happy to ask questions and get your posts boosted.
Yeah, and start engaging at least on a friend to friend level, which is something, another cool benefit of Handmade Alpha Academy is we do that to kind of help each other out. So guys, hope you have an amazing weekend. Let me know in the group when you guys have Black Friday sales. If you guys are making sales, don't post like your sale, like your link, but post that you're making sales. Let me know if you're making sales or if your Black Friday, all of the craziness is paying off for you. I want to know in the group. Until next time, guys, we will be back next Friday with our very last alpha interview, and we will be back in the Facebook group on Sunday when HAA opens. So have a great weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Okay.